Hey, this is Justin here from Find 'em, Grind 'em Garage. I drove the car for about a week or so. Figured out a couple things that I don't really like about it. The passenger side exhaust, I gotta mess with a little bit. Couple sensors, idles high when you fire it up. I gotta check for some vacuum leaks, throttle position sensor, ICA, a couple different things. Right now, I'm about to jack it up. I want to pull that passenger side pipe off. I want to make another crossover pipe for it. This was an H pipe from a Fox body I had years ago. It actually fit pretty good, but the passenger side didn't fit as good, so I want to get that to fit a little bit better. Fix the one collector piece I made. I'll show you guys when I get it out. So I'm gonna get it jacked up, get some jack stands under it, get some lights under it, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so I got the car jacked up, I got some jack stands under it, I got my wrenches under, I cracked the bolts free. Take you guys under, show you what I'm talking about, how the passenger side H pipe hangs lower than the driver's side. That's because it's from a Fox body, so it doesn't fit perfectly. That's why I want to take it off, cut it, reclock it so it tucks up better. And many years ago, I was young and dumb. I took the BBKH pipe I have under there and I patched the hole in between that made it an H pipe. So I made them true duals. It was for another vehicle I had. But now I want to make it back to an H pipe for this car. So I'll show you guys that stuff. If you look under, it's all bolted up. You can clearly see, hold on. You can clearly see how this one is a little bit lower. I had it, I threw it in there. I wanted to drive the car to see how it was for about a week or so, just to, you know, see how it was. So I got my little list of things I want to fix up on it, and this is one of them. Getting this exhaust tuned back in and get it tucked up better. If you take a look here, if you see here, that's where it used to have an H pipe across it. This is a stainless BBK H pipe for a Fox body. Like I said, I had it for another vehicle. I cut it, I just fucking put a patch over it and had true duals, but I want it to be an H pipe again for this car. So I'll probably go down. I have some pieces I got from work. I'm gonna just go down right here, throw it across, make a little piece. But I want to go down here. I want to cut this. I think I'm gonna cut it here, and then I'm gonna clock this exhaust to tuck this, to roll the exhaust back up inside the car a little bit more, so it's not so low, because I don't like when it's low. I like everything to be tucked up tight, especially in a low car. It'll be catching speed bumps and whatever else. We live in Pennsylvania, so they're not the best roads. Also, I made a collector for this. I'll show you guys when I get it off what I'm talking about, because with the BBK stuff, it's like a ball and socket exhaust setup. Like right here, it's like a ball and cup. You know what I mean? So that's how it is up on the other end towards the manifold side. So I had to make a adapter for it, which I'll show you guys when I get it off. So I'm up under here in the back, just pulling this clamp off. Like I said, when I got the car, the exhaust that was on it was very bad, terrible. This isn't the greatest, but it's 1,000 times better than what was on it. So, which I can show you guys what was on it when I'm done. But just pop these clamps free here, slide that down. Then I can actually technically, yeah, that's all right. I want to get this fixed anyway too. So we'll pop this off. You know, that'll stay like that for now. All right, so what I'm pretty much doing Just working my way down, taking my, just working my way down, loosening everything up. Like I said, this stuff wasn't a bought kit. It was just stuff I had laying around for years. I'll probably have to cut these bolts off. Unfortunately, they're stainless. And if anybody knows how real stainless bolts are, they just gum up and that's it, unfortunately. It's like a one-time use kind of deal on some of them. This one's not bad. This one. I'll probably have to go run over to the hardware store to grab a couple bolts, some grade 8s for it or something, because I don't really have any grade 8s. I do, but they're all too big. They're all for suspension parts and stuff. So I'll have to run over to the hardware store. I'll grab a couple bolts for these, because I got stainless ones, a couple I've had, and stainless is nice, but when the heat and tightening it up, they always like the threads always like gall up. It sucks. It's just how stainless is when you're using it on high torque stuff. It just sucks. But I'll let me get this one off. I gotta cut it off quick and then we'll move up. So I pulled the exhaust down. That's where I was talking about the H-pipe, where I gotta make another piece there for the H-pipe. I pulled it down. I didn't have a plug when I put this together. So I took one of my O2 sensors and I broke it off and cut it off. And I jammed it in L because I didn't have a plug for it. It's just rigged up. That was rigged. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. And you could clearly see that it's making noise and blowing out of it. But that's the ball and cup I was talking about. And if you look, I'll move this out of here. I'm gonna pull it out in a second here, but I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about, the adapter that I made. See the adapter that I made for it. It'll be easier to show you when I take it out. The collector that's in this thing is square. That's coming out of my motor. But my H-pipe is the ball and cup adapter. So I took an old ball I had, cut it off, welded it on a plate I made with studs. I'll show you when I get it out. It's hard to explain. Just give me a minute and I'll pull it out. Okay, so I got the adapter I made for the exhaust of my car. It's a little hacked up, I guess you could say. Not really, I try not to, but you know, I make stuff work. So on the car side, coming out of the collector, or coming out of the manifold, I don't have headers on it yet. It's square, like this, or you know, an oval, sorry, an oval. So that's coming out of the collector, the manifold of the car. The H-pipe that I'm using has that ball and cup setup. So I had a bunch of old exhaust around. So this is off the piece of exhaust that came on the car that was all hacked up real bad, worse than this. So I cut this off the exhaust that was on the car. I cut off a piece of the cup part of like a Fox body exhaust, and I welded it on top of there. So I can bolt that to the manifold of the car and then bolt my H-pipe that's got the cup and ball set up to the collector. It worked pretty good. It did. It did work pretty good. But I want to clock my H-pipe a little different, because with the Fox body, it runs a little different, and I want the exhaust to be tucked up a little higher. And I got to plug that one hole and just a couple of odds and ends things to figure it out. So I got this out. I got to weld the stud because I cracked it before, so I can fix that. I got to plug up the hole in my H-pipe down here, and I got to figure out where I want to cut that H-pipe to clock it. Also, I got a couple of these little fish mouth stainless pieces of tubing that I want to make work on here, and that'll go across for my to make it an H pipe again. I want to make it an H pipe again. So I had these at work, and I can fit these a little bit nicer, get those fit on there, so I can make this thing an H pipe. So that's the plan. So I got my welder out. Yes, welder. Freaking thing is great. Dirt cheap on Amazon. It's great for what I gotta do around here. I got a TIG too. Most of the time I do most of my welding at work because we got a lot better stuff there. I had a Lincoln, but that thing took a crap. So I just wanted something cheap. And that thing was dirt cheap, and it is great. Absolutely great. I got this adapter that I showed you guys a little while ago. The one stud cracked when I first put it on. I was cranking the living hell out of it, and I cracked it. So I'm gonna throw a little bead on that first, get that done. I want to throw a little bit of high temp gasket maker on this here. Let that set up so it turns to a gasket somewhat, just to help a little bit. I know it's gonna burn up and blow out, I understand that, but whatever. Make me feel better. Let me get this thing fired up. Let me throw a little bead on here, get this thing welded up, get that done. This is my H pipe that I made work from a Fox body, but like I said before, I didn't have a plug, and I just wanted to drive the car. Rigged up what I had here to make it work, so I had to relocate this O2 sensor down a little bit because where it was at wasn't gonna work for this car. So I relocated that, and I had the hole here, but I didn't have a plug, and I wasn't thinking. I just was like, whatever. So I screwed in the old O2 sensor. I broke the end off, and my dumbass thought that, oh, it's gonna be fine. Well, no, it wasn't fine. All you heard was a freaking chattering from this freaking thing. You hear it? That's all you heard when the car was running, and it was spitting exhaust out of it too. So that just bothered the living hell out of me. I couldn't stand that sound. Just that chattering sound just sounded like hell. So pull that sucker out. That's junk. What I'm gonna do is just gonna take this 1/2-13 bolt, cut the head off it, stick it over the hole, just weld it up. Just weld it up, and that'll close up the hole. So I'm gonna weld that stuff up quick. I actually noticed on the collector when I brake cleaned it off quick, the crack, before I Dremel the crack out, both sides are cracked. I just threw a small bead around it on this hardened stuff here, heat treat, so I figured it was gonna crack. So just grab my Dremel. I'm just gonna clean up the crack a little bit, gouge it out a little bit, turn my heat up and weld it back in, and yeah, we should be okay. Who the hell knows? We'll give it a try. At least get the exhaust back on it so we can rip around some more. This one isn't completely broke. I'm still gonna gouge it. It's probably got a fine crack all the way around, but I'll gouge it out, see what's going on with it. Bees everywhere. They're the black suckers too. That one should go down a little bit more. That one wraps around pretty good. So I knew when I did it. When I was first putting the exhaust on, I was cranking the living hell out of it, you know, tightening everything up, and I heard it pop. I could see the crack, and I was like, screw that. I'm just gonna finish putting the exhaust on, finishing that up. I wanna drive the car, see how it is. I knew I was gonna have to come back and fix some stuff on the car. I mean, the kid that I got it from, he had it for about a year, and he didn't drive it much. So I figured I was gonna have to drive it, see what's going on with it, see what I gotta fix. So like I said before, I got a little list of things I wanna fix up. The exhaust is one of them. So I got that gouged out a little bit. I'll throw a little bead around it. Usually when I'm doing this stuff, I'll just, you know, close my eyes and do a couple quick tacks on it, but when I had it underneath the car and I was welding some stuff up, I had some goggles on. I was just holding goggles up and doing it. Well, that was the 100th time and the last time that I'm doing that again. I don't know how many times that I freaking burnt the living hell out of my face because you're up next to it close under a car welding without a helmet on. And last time, right around my nose, my mouth, it peeled and burnt so bad. I'm done. That was it. It's happened hundreds of times and I'm just done with it. That was the last time. So brought one of my old helmets home. And that's what I'm gonna use now. I'm done just closing my eyes. Tired of getting burnt to hell. So let's see. Oh, you know what would help? It'd help if I had a ground hooked up. Grounds usually help. Grounds usually help welding. Not the greatest, like I said, but hey, it'll get the job done for what I need it for. Can't see it anyway. I know you're probably asking me why I keep looking at it. This is an auto darkening helmet, but the sunlight keeps keeping it dark, so I can't see. Okay. Like I said, it's not the greatest thing in the world. I'm running 100% argon with it. It's a little breezy out. It'll work for what I need it for. If I really wanted to, I could bring it to work and do it nice like I did around the outside. You know, I tigged around the outside of there. You know, you know, TIG that piece on and all that nice at work. 'Cause it's got a nice welder at work. But usually with the mixed gas, that welder is absolutely amazing. Thing works great. With running the extension cord off an extension cord and stuff like that without using it. It is a 220 too, but I don't have 220 out here, unfortunately. We used what we got, you know? Okay, so I pulled that old O2 sensor out, cleaned it up, cut the end of the bolt off, got that ready. I'm gonna set that sucker right there. I'll weld that up, grind it down a little bit so it's a little bit more low profile, and that should be good to go. So let me fire that thing up and tack that sucker on and weld that thing on. Okay, so I put the H-pipe back up in here where it's got to be. I just zip tied it in for now. I gotta cut that zip tie off quick. I'm gonna grab my left here. Zip tie off so it's not in our way. It's right in my face. I want to cut that off. Okay. All right. So I put the H-pipe back in where it's got to be. I just zip tied it in and stuck it in the little hanger I have here. Like I was showing you guys before, I got these thick wall tubing from work. It's stainless. This is a low grade stainless too. It's just what I have, so I'm gonna use them. Like I said, I'm gonna order headers, full exhaust for the car at some point. I'm trying to find used, but I can't find used right now, so I don't know what I want to do. But for now, I just want to at least make this an H-pipe again. Pretty sure it needs it. So, I'm gonna set this up like something like that. This is where the original ones went, but I think that would be a real pain to try to cut those welds off. Even though it'd be a nice short little piece right there. So I think I'm just gonna come down farther here in a fresh piece here where it's straight and just do something like this. I think that would be sufficient too. That's pretty even there. So I think I can make that work, I think. Something like that, I think. So let me grab my marker. Fortunately, what I should do is measure in between, put my crossover piece on this, slide it inside of here so it holds itself in there. Then I can mark around where I want it and make sure it completely fits right. I should do that first before I cut any holes. So let me grab a tape measure. Let me measure the piece that I'm gonna need for in here. We cut a piece and then we can kind of figure out what the heck we got going on here. This is a rigged up setup, but I'm trying to rig it up half decent. I'll be right back. Hold on, guys.